India's manufacturing industry has seen significant development in recent years, with its stock index also experiencing a substantial rise. Nearly 14% of Apple's mobile phones are manufactured under OEM in India. However, India's manufacturing share of GDP contracted in 2023. Why? India began its economic reforms in 1990, and after 34 years, its industrial level still significantly lags behind China. China's per capita GDP is 5.9 times greater than India's. Additionally, China's share of the global manufacturing industry is 10 times larger than India's, and its total exports are 4.8 times higher than those of India. If you are familiar with our video on China's growth model, you might recognize the savings-led investment growth model adopted by many industrialized nations. This approach requires a higher savings rate. Theoretically, India's poverty could lead to a high savings rate due to the lower levels of security among its populace. Yet, this poses the question, why do manufacturing and exports not perform as strongly in India compared to other countries with high savings rates? The primary reason is that India's labor law system exceeds that of developed nations. This system impedes the continuous increase of the savings rate and also obstructs the growth of India's manufacturing sector. Initially, a sizable corporation in India may encompass multiple unions, and an agreement reached with one union does not necessarily extend to others. Additionally, the leaders of various trade unions may align with distinct political parties and pursue divergent interests, leading to complex negotiation costs for employers. Secondly, Indian companies with over 50 employees are required to notify their workers 3 weeks in advance if there are changes to vacation time, work discipline, or job content. Frequent business changes make it challenging for companies to adapt quickly to market demands. Opportunities may be lost if they cannot act within 3 weeks. Moreover, companies with more than 100 employees must obtain Labor Department consent to dismiss employees, which is often denied due to political reasons, such as vote concerns and strike fears. This leads to large companies in India being hesitant to expand unless their business is exceptionally stable. Deteriorating business conditions without the ability to lay off employees can only lead to a continued decline in profits. India's Factory Act is known for its complexity and stringent employee protections. For instance, the Act limits the maximum working hours to 48 per week, which is comparatively less than what is permitted in other countries. This necessitates hiring more employees to maintain productivity, thereby increasing labor costs. Consider a scenario where a family urgently needs additional income, but the labor laws prevent overtime work, creating a disadvantageous situation for both the employer and the employee. The Act also imposes strict regulations on women's working hours, capping them at 9 hours a day and requiring them to finish work by 7 at night. Consequently, women who might find employment in jobs with afternoon to evening shifts are unable to take up such positions. While it is not suggested that countries should weaken labor protections, India's labor laws are arguably overly restrictive, leading to a lose-lose outcome. Comparisons of labor laws among India, China, and the United States show that India only has a lower minimum wage than the US but have the most stringent labor regulation. Indian leaders recognize these issues, yet reforms progress slowly. The law mandates that a restaurant must be established when a workforce exceeds 150. A canteen is necessary once the number hits 250, and a nursery must be provided if there are more than 30 female employees. These requirements can impose significant costs on businesses. Such benefits may not be available in developed countries. The revision of this law in India took approximately 30 years, from 1919 to the present. After assuming power in 2014, Prime Minister Modi attempted to revise the law. By 2020, he consolidated the Indian labor laws from 4 different to 4 codes and implemented minor changes to certain regulations. These minor changes have faced boycotts from labor unions. This indicates that even a leader with Modi's strength can only enact limited modifications, reflecting the challenges involved. To attract manufacturing industries, several provinces have started to revise their laws. For instance, the southern Indian province of Karnataka has amended its laws to permit employees to increase their overtime from 75 to 140 hours over 3 months, implement 12-hour shifts, and allow women to work night shift. Hence, the potential of India's manufacturing sector to overtake China's hinges on the country's ability to reform its labor laws to create a more equitable and mutually beneficial environment for employees. Investors interested in India's manufacturing landscape should closely monitor the progress of India's labor law reforms, as these are pivotal compared to other minor reforms. We will cover more topics on India in the future. Subscribe to ensure you don't miss out.